How's it going, everyone? Urban Nerd here. And I've been a little hiatus from making some videos, but don't worry, I'm back. I'm still living. And of course, let's start off with some Baja Blast. Shout out to the guy that left a comment about the Baja Blast. I just love when Mountain Dew finally puts it back in the bottles and cans. I don't know. I could drink that every day. So let's get down to an issue at hand. Now, according to some YouTube analytics, there are 93% of you that are not subscribed to my channel. Now, it is kind of lame subscribing to a small channel, especially like, you know, the Urban Nerd, but it would really help out if you just click that subscribe button. Now, you don't have to click the notification icon unless you really want to, but, you know, that button is down there to subscribe, and it's not going to hurt you, but it does help me. All right, let's get into this. So I made a video unboxing the Amazon Filament that I think I got for a steal, and these are the prints that I did with it. Now, the quality of the prints I don't think were bad at all. I feel like maybe it did go down a little bit compared to whenever I was printing with other PLAs, but the other PLAs were also off-brand, and this is Amazon Basics, so it is what it is. So the first thing that I printed out, I thought that I'd print out a bike water bottle holder. Now, putting this onto my bike was actually more of a pain than I thought it would be. So it's right here. And I mean, the filament is flexible whenever it's printed. I mean, this isn't such a thick piece, but it's nice and flexible. So you would be able to fit a water bottle, or you can fit this Mountain Dew bottle in here. If this was actually like screwed to the bike, because there are holes in here, it would hold it. All right, we got to get this at this point. It's just dedication. Yeah. See, and if you were riding your bike, you could ride it with your Baja Blast right there. And it holds it. I feel like it's pretty secure, minus the screws already, so that's a win if I could fit it on my bike. But oh well. So the next thing I printed out is this little skull, this low-poly skull. Now, all the links to the Thingiverse will be in the description below. We are crediting our creators on this, of course. And I mean, the skull, like, I really like this low poly design, and the skull turned out really well. There isn't many extruded parts on this, and the top is smooth, and the bottom where it was on the glass build plate is also smooth. And all in all, I think that this print turned out pretty well. I mean, it's low poly, so it's not like there's a lot of detail to it, but there are slight overhangs, and I think that the filament and the printer, of course, really printed this out very well. Now, sticking with the low poly theme, I printed out this low poly Gengar, and it also has some overhang angles like on the, I guess it's ears or so, and this tail. And I also think that this turned out very well. It's pretty smooth. There are a little bit of too much overhang on the hands, but it's very nice. And with the printing smooth on the bottom for the Gengar as well, that means that the filament is sticking to the build plate, so that's also a pretty big plus. I really haven't had a problem with that. I've never had to use, people use glue sticks, but this has turned out fine. So by now, most of you have seen the Hairy Lion, but you have not seen the Headless Hairy Lion, or maybe you have. But this print failed, and the disc that it came around it, it just, like, the disc snapped off of the build plate, and then it started being carried by the nozzle. So this print turned out really bad, so I figured I would just print it again. And I didn't put the hair down, but this is what the finished product looks like once you cut the ring off. Now, once again, this ring did break away from the build plate. I'm guessing because that this is so thin, but it finished, and the body looks okay. And I also printed it in a different PLA, this darker silver, more metallic looking one, but it doesn't have metal in it. And I think that it turned out essentially the same. So kudos to Amazon Filament for that, Amazon Basics for the win. And don't worry, we are getting to some more 3D printed things that have more definition to them. So let's start out with this Pokeball. Now, the Pokeball I just super glued shut. It doesn't open or anything, but it turned out okay. I feel like whenever it was printing out the top, there was a lot of wavy lines, and I just don't think it looked all that good. So I don't really know what I'm going to do with this. And the center is a little off kilter there. But whatever. I was going to blow it up with fireworks, but I did not get any fireworks in time for the video. So then I thought to myself, printing a Pokeball is actually kind of boring. I mean, anybody can do that. But the one thing you can't do is you can't print out something bigger by splitting it apart. I mean, you can, and I did. So I printed out this very large Pokeball. Now I had to put the parts into Fusion 360, and I suck at Fusion 360, but I was able to figure out how to cut the black parts into 2 separate models, and then from Fusion 360 I went into Cura and then printed it out. And I think that this turned out really well. You might have seen it in a previous video. Maybe not, but this one does open. Goes on your keychain. And I do wish that I figured out how to remove these slits in the bottom, because then you could fit a lot more things in here. Since the top is so open and it has the person's logo in here and on the back of the Pokeball. But I think that this one is actually pretty cool. It printed out better than the smaller one, but there are waves that are consistent with the smaller one. So maybe it was just my infill or the way that it didn't like the cone kind of shape to it. But I mean, from far away, if you don't get too close, looks really good. And I'll consider that a win for Amazon. Now, what you're seeing right now is a picture of Big Chungus. Now, somebody from work wanted me to print this out, and I wanted to use the Amazon Filament just to see how it would turn out. And the print was very smooth. Now, I only have this picture of it, and it's currently on his desk at work, of course. But I think that the Amazon Filament actually turned out the best as far as low detail goes. I mean, Big Chungus does not have many details besides maybe the teeth and the eyes. But that print actually turned out really well, very smooth. And the last print, the one with the most detail, is this Dwarf Warrior. Now, you most likely have also seen this print before. It comes in 3 parts: the sword, the figure itself, and then the shield. And you have to super glue the shield on, and then the sword, which, I mean, it looks pretty even. Don't look too close at it. But I think that the detail on here is about an 8 out of 10. I mean, the detail is definitely there. It looks very good. It's not as smooth, and I don't know if that's because of the filament or the printer, because I don't have anything to compare it to. But I would say that this is pretty much a win for the Amazon Filament. If you're not looking for something that's like poly smooth or anything that's like very specific, if you're trying to just print something out for your first time, I think that the Amazon Filament is absolutely the best way to go. For 50 bucks, you get 5 spools. I mean, I haven't even gone through 1 spool yet, usually because I'm buying a lot of spools and switching around different colors, but you get 5 different colors with it too. That's just, you can't really beat that. It does look very nice, and no one's going to complain that the detail is a little off whenever they're picking this up and you tell them that you 3D printed it. It's pretty nice. So all in all, I think that the Amazon Filament is definitely a win. I mean, you get 5 different colors, which is already an amazing deal. And for $50, 1,000 feet of spool, I believe it's 1,000 feet of spool, it's definitely, I don't know, it's actually pretty great. If you're looking for something to get your 3D printing hobby off the ground, I wouldn't go with anything else, because the more expensive filaments you get, then they cost more, of course. But if you have different like failures, like we did with the Lion, then it doesn't feel as bad whenever you're losing that plastic compared to like a Prusa filament or like the Polysure. So I would absolutely go for this. It was absolutely worth the money. So thanks for watching today. I enjoy you spending the time with me. And for all those people that aren't subscribed, all 93% of you, hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment down below. Maybe we can turn that 93 into a 90. Yeah, that'd be pretty impressive. All right, see you in the next one.